Welcome, everyone. Yes, it is late night. It is 11 o'clock my time. I didn't get off work until late, so this is about the earliest I could do this stream, but I am closing every night this week. So, unfortunately, I won't have any day streams, and this is the only time I can do it. Again, I'm not really interested in the live views as much as people watching this after the fact and finding out the information that's going to be talked about. But before I even get started, I did find out today that this is true. I was kind of couldn't believe this, but Dustin Daly and Nick Snyder were living together, and they literally had their house burned down. Like literally had their entire house burned down. It looked like a nice house too. And apparently two kitties passed away too. And people know I'm a huge animal lover. I mean, yeah, I do tend more to dogs, but I happen to love cats too. And I mean, my heart goes out to them, sincerely goes out to them, and it just reminds us that, look, you know, people that are on the YouTube, these are actual real people. These are not just names that you see. These are honest to God, real frickin' people with real lives. And I think a lot of people just do not seem to realize that. And I saw people actually try to make light of it and be mockery of it. And I know Rennell, I got home and I tried to catch up, and it took me a while to kind of get things together for this, so I apologize. But Rennell even spoke out, and so that people are making fun of what happened, and it's just, it boggles my mind that even when there's tragedy, there are people that are out there that will use it to troll people. And this is what I see quite a bit, in the Katie Joy community, and with Katie Joy and her little minions that will just make any situation they can into something where they can, profit from it in some way. And I don't necessarily even mean profit financially, but profit to get their attention and their narcissistic supply from. And that's what I see happening more and more. But I also see more and more content creators calling it out. I see a lot of content creators that are not just doing these videos for views. They're doing them because they want the information out there. Those are the content creators that I generally will associate myself with. And those are the content creators I will give information to. And two of those content creators I gave information to, which was Aaron from Ekcpeoplesuck and Nikk38, because they have demonstrated themselves to be credible. They demonstrated themselves to get the right information out there. And of course, Aaron is quite entertaining in doing so. And so I had been sitting on the messages that I had with Katie over the last, I guess from 2018. They have never been made public until today. I thought they did a very good reading of them. They basically, one played me and one played Katie. And the reason I wanted them out was to conclusively demonstrate that Katie had lied about everything relating to me when it came to her false allegations of medical fraud, Social Security fraud, and disability fraud. Now, those have kind of gone by the wayside because she did make a video admitting that she's wrong about it. Of course, Katie's never going to admit that she lied. Let's be realistic here, right? But she did admit that she was wrong about them. And if you watched the video today on Aaron's channel, which I did put in the video description, I highly recommend please watch it. If you did watch it, you'll see in the DMs that we had that I was being civil to her. I think Aaron said that it was clear that we were pals. No, Katie and I were never pals. We were civil to each other. That's it. Matter of fact, if you look at all our DMs, there wasn't a lot between us in the entire year and a half. That's not a lot of messages. I mean, I can tell you right now, I probably sent that many messages to Aaron or Tina in a week. Okay, so there's not a lot. Well, it's not. Okay, maybe a little hyperbolic. I don't talk to them that much, but I mean, seriously, I'm civil with most people. I had no reason not to at the time. I wasn't a huge fan of her, but whatever. It wasn't until, again, I think Aaron is correct on that when she wanted me to give her praise for her blog on the terrorism of anti-vax being terrorists, and I just was like, I think that's being hyperbolic. That's when I think a lot of it went south. But even still, she made a lot of false allegations when it came to a lot of stuff that the DMs do show did not happen. Again, I do not show DMs normally. I'm very reluctant to ever show them. There are, of course, situations where you have no choice. One of them was with Kyle Curtis, who actually was, a co-host to Katie Joy, two peas in a pod, two narcissists in a pod. And then Katie, was another exception. I mean, again, I have no choice. I mean, in a nutshell, I do think initially Katie was duped by Kyle in some ways, but I think willingly so. I mean, again, I was being cordial in these DMs. If you want to go watch the video, You can review all of them. I'll have a link to them somewhere at some point, so people can just download them from like the internet if they want. But I mean, right now they're on Aaron's channel, and I'm gonna pull them up here in a second. But if you notice in there, yeah, I'm kind of just being civil to her, going, yeah, yes, I do believe that Kyle lied to you, because I do. That's a fact. Kyle lied to everybody, right? Not just myself and the community. Kyle lied to Katie as well. So yes, I do believe Katie believed that she was lied to. But again, I know now she was a willing participant, right? She was willfully accepting what Kyle was saying without any kind of pushback. It wasn't until much later on when people were going, Katie, you're just full of crap on all this, where she decided to go, yeah, Kyle lied to me and he was telling me things and I started to investigate. No, you didn't. No, she didn't. She did not. It wasn't. She, I think, really did know Kyle was BSing. But again, she's the one that came to me saying, hey, Steve, I want to talk to you about this. Okay, so if you watch the video, you'll see a couple of different things that of notable, something that definitely should be noted. One, she had said that she went to Kyle and said, Steve has made me feel uncomfortable or sexually harassing me. I don't want to stream with him. That is a lie. She had never said this to Kyle. Kyle never said that she did. And if you listened to the stream on Aaron's channel, you'll see that I even asked her to come on to be a co-host for a night because Kyle had 102-degree fever. She and I had only streamed 3 times together. 3 times. The first time, I believe, was the Golden Nuns. Then the second time was the episode that I invited her on. And then the third time was the Jilly Juice, where she was upset that I didn't, praise her for calling anti-vaxxers terrorists, even though, like I said, I definitely think that anti-vaxxers have issues. I don't agree with any of them, obviously. But, I mean, terrorism is it's a pretty hefty word to be using for that. But at no time did she ever tell Kyle or Bullinator, who was our producer, of these things. Nothing even remotely would suggest otherwise until Kyle decided to try to kick me and Bullinator off the channel. And within a day or so, streamed to the channel, and I believe the video was called Resurrection, that Katie out of absolute nowhere, decided to, I'm just going to pull crap out of my ass because nobody's going to ever ask me for evidence because, her followers never do, but mine do, and they did and realized she was lying. And she basically just straight out said in the live chat, Steve sexually harassed me. And people said, what the hell are you talking about, Katie? And then she started just bizarrely coming up with this weird narrative. And people are just like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm sitting there, I was listening to this too, and I'm like, what the hell is this woman talking about? I was like, holy shit. It's not just like she decontextualized something, right? It wasn't like she just took a joke or something and ran with it to be Me Too. No, she literally made this up completely from scratch. There was nothing decontextualized. I never said anything what the hell she was talking about. And so when people started asking for evidence of this, she just started making up different variations. She said that supposedly I started talking about my quote penis before a stream to her and my sexual prowess. Then she said I didn't sexually harass her. I just made her feel uncomfortable. Then it was during a phone call, and then it was after the stream, and then it was during the stream. There's so many different variations I lost count. You guys remember them all. But the latest iteration in her lawsuit against me, yes, she is suing me. I have her lawsuit. She has definitely sued. Sent a full lawsuit to me and my attorney. That it was quote continual and unwanted advancements. So it has migrated not just from sexual harassment, and which, by the way, is a specifically term in at least the law, that there has to be some kind of power dynamic. If you were working with somebody as a job, there's sexual harassment. She was never employed by anybody, but even still, being uncomfortable is not sexual harassment. But fabricating a story is malicious. That is definitely malicious because she absolutely 100% just pulled this out of nowhere. But be that as may, the newest iteration in her lawsuit against me is that there were continual and unwanted advancements. Okay, great. Where, when, details. So far, she never provided a shred of evidence to any of my attorneys for the evidence of this. Nothing. Nothing. Well, first of all, there's nothing to be had. I give you my solemn word. There's not a shred of evidence to be had. So obviously, she can't give anything. This is why I support Todd Chrisley when Todd Chrisley says that she has lied about creating a source, or she talked about having a source that was working for the studio for his show, Christy Knows Best, I think she absolutely pulled that out of her ass too. Why? Because she did it to me. Well, if she could do it to me, it just seems to follow she could do it on other people. So I do believe Todd's correct on that she doesn't have a source, which would prove malice, right? So anyways, I'm going to pull these up here. And by the way, the link to join is in the pin to the top. If you guys want to come in, that's fine. I don't care. But this is what the things I went over today. This is what's called a JSON data. This is how the data is that comes directly from your Twitter account when you download it in a zip file. My copies have my lawyer have the exact same copy. They can log into my account. They can verify that this has been not altered in any single solitary way. The only thing that's been changed is the colors on it. Obviously, it's been sorted. And colors added to it for readability. That's it. That's the only thing. But as far as anything, as far as the context or anything, as far as who said what, nothing has been added. Nothing has been changed. So I know it's kind of hard to follow because, again, these are conversations that have happened over a period since 2018, 2019. Yeah, I get that. But, I mean, if I had sexually harassed her, then, what if she had mentioned it at some point in here, of something along those lines? I mean, she's the one that came to me and said, "Hey, Steve, I have something I need to talk to you. Can I talk to you about something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Matter of fact, I'll get over all this stuff, but I think it was this one. Where'd I put it? I think it was here. I'll go over all this stuff in a second here. Somewhere in there, though, she actually sends a tweet to me and says, "Hey, Steve, can I talk to you about this?" This was on September 22nd, 2019. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So this is all in red. Everything in red is the last day that I ever talked to this woman. It was just coincidental, by the way. It was red. It wasn't planned. It worked out well, I guess, because red's a good color for this. But yeah, that's the last day that I ever said anything to her. And she basically said, I'm not going to go over the whole thing because it doesn't need to be. Go watch Aaron's video for that. My point for this video is to be succinct about what it demonstrates. Because she says, "I'm sorry for what I said about Medicaid or Medi-Cal. It's what I was told by Kyle, blah, blah, blah." What it doesn't have in here is anything relating to me making her feel uncomfortable, anything like that. It has nothing but, I realized I was lied to. And I'll make a video apologizing. In fact, down here, she says she'll make a video, and I say, "Can you add some links to it?" Right? And I give her 2 links to add to it. Now, Katie had went on Kay Baxter's channel, and she outright lied and said, "Steve threatened me in an email to make the apology video." That never happened. There's no such email. I can tell you right now, there's no such email. Of course there's no such email. Why? Because I never threatened to make a valid apology video. She came to me and said she would make a video on it. And I said, okay, I appreciate that. You're off my radar. And then all I asked is she had these 2 links here, the Death of NonSequitur Show and Which Side's Not Telling You the Truth. I said, I'll discuss your video on Caffeine Corner tomorrow. Again, I'm not reading these out because Erin did it on her channel and you guys are not here for that. You've already listened to it. But you can remember from Erin's channel when she was reading these things, it was Katie who suggested making a video, right? That's it. Where in the world did all of a sudden that change to, Steve threatened me in an email to make an apology video to her? That's what she said legally. I think that's actually in the law. I believe that's in her countersuit against me. I'm gonna have to double check on that. Somewhere along the lines, though, she did say that. But I don't remember if it was in the court record or not. I honestly don't know. But be that as may, she did absolutely say it on Kay Baxter's stream, saying, quote, "Steve threatened," well, okay, I shouldn't say quote, paraphrase, "Steve threatened me in an email to make that video." And what's funny is I've never sent that woman an email in my life. There's not a single email I have to Katie. Nothing. So, and there's no DMs of me threatening her either, right? So that clearly proves beyond all doubt that she did, in fact, lie about me threatening her to make an apology video. Let's see here. Anyways, it's in there somewhere. But I basically say, "I am sure others will analyze your video, but if I do tomorrow, I can at least tell people that I accept your apology." and see it from your view and explain the rest of the context, okay? Thank you for stepping forward, is what I tell her. She says, of course, I just want to move forward. I said, I understand you're off the radar, which, by the way, is a military term. It just means that you're watching somebody. She took it as a threat. Well, she says it's a threat, right? She said, Steve threatened me in an email to make a video, or I will be on his radar or something like that or whatever. And then that never happened. I said, you're off the radar. Just closing loose ends tomorrow on Caffeine Corner, and you have my word. No one in my camp is doing any of those parody accounts. Okay. I do communicate with them, as I do on Twitter, but I have no idea who they are. And then she says, thank you. Please don't fuel any more drama for them. They're doing a lot to harass, spread misinformation, massive untruths about me. Well, no, they weren't. I'll tell you right now, the parody accounts, well, they weren't even parody. They're more commentary accounts, like Without a Crystal Ball commentary account. That was not parody. And they were not spreading misinformation. What they said was true. Right? So the facts remain is that Katie absolutely lied about me sexually harassing her. She absolutely lied about me threatening to make a video for her. These private messages I hated to show because, again, even with Katie, I'm so reluctant to show private messages. It is a last-ditch thing because people know that when they send things to me, they will remain private. Come hell or high water, they remain private until you say that I have sexually harassed you and things of that nature. Then, yeah, all bets are kind of off to some degree, especially when there's legal action being taken, especially when she's suing me, and especially that she has got to, in a court of law, make her case that for 2 years I made initially I made unwanted sexual advances to her according to what she put in the lawsuit. Okay, where's the evidence for that? Let's do that. Go for it. I'm gonna wait to see that evidence because she didn't send anything to the lawyer about that. So okay. And she, yes, and it is, by the way, yes, it is true. She actually has said in her lawsuit against me that she expects me to pay for her moving cost, quote, relocation cost, because she feel like she needs to move her family because of me violating whatever the frick she thinks I violated. Oh yeah, what it was. Yeah, I violated, according to her, because this is in her lawsuit as well. She is suing me that because I had released confidential exhibits for her false TRO against me. Now, these exhibits are from her. These are her exhibits. These are not anything else but what she gave to the court. I asked my lawyer, can I release these? My lawyer said yes. You said you can release anything that you came upon through the process of the legal action. You can do what the hell you want with them. Those were his words, basically. Not so much, the hell you want with them, but he said, yeah, you can release them. Right. So, first of all, Katie has to prove malice. Katie has to prove that I maliciously release her own evidence from her old false TRO, and it's somehow she has to move because of it. Okay, I want to see that, because if you have to prove malice, then why did I ask my lawyer? Why did my lawyer give me permission? Where's the malice? But yes, she thinks that I am obligated to pay her relocation costs because she has to move. Now, this is interesting because, of course, Todd Chrisley and 7M, she has told the courts that they have threatened her for 2 years and that they're the cause of all the harassment. That Todd Chrisley has caused her to be swatted 4 times. So if Todd Chrisley is the one that has been caused her to be swatted 4 times, then why is it she's asking for me to pay her relocation cost for releasing confidential information? Yeah, and by the way, yes, Todd Chrisley's lawyers has all this. Yes, of course. I mean, come on. I mean, all the lawyers talk. I told you guys this. So, yeah, so she's now going to be actually explain in court with Todd Chrisley things why in another lawsuit that she has with me that she has to move and I have to pay her moving costs when somehow Todd Chrisley had her swatted 4 times. Yeah, none of these narratives line up. None of these narratives line up. It's like, hello. So, yeah, that to me blows my freaking mind that she thinks that for some reason, because I released her confidential exhibits, which I can do according to my lawyer, that she has to move, that her family's in jeopardy somehow. So, all right. So a couple different things. By the way, I have a significant amount of documentation that I have not released publicly. Many of you guys have seen it, but I don't think no one person has seen everything besides probably Aaron. And maybe Nikki, I think they've pretty much seen everything, but most people have not seen her lawsuit against me. Only a handful of eyes have actually know what's in it. But they have not seen my main document. Now, my main document is 137 pages long. This document here is 137 pages long. Sorry, 135 pages long. 135 pages long of stuff that I've compiled on her. One of the things that I noted when she had said that I had threatened her to make the apology video. Well, if you go look on my timeline, oh yeah, she said I scrubbed this. She said I deleted all these things off the internet in her lawsuit. In her lawsuit to me, she says I have deleted these things and that I deleted my accounts. No, they're still there. I said on December, I believe this was, this had to be September 22nd, 2019. Go look and tell me, somebody can bring it up. It says, even though Katie still blames Kyle, which she should, she has taken some responsibility and retracted her allegations and admitted Kyle misled her. It is what I asked for and I accept. Doesn't mean all is forgiven, especially the false allegations. But I'm after bigger fish, so she's off my radar for now. Okay? Because, I mean, I was going after Kyle, and I did win on Kyle. I won $115,000. And yes, in 3 more days, I'm going to be serving 2 more pieces of paperwork to start the procedure to try to collect something from him. I just have to wait a couple more days for statute kind of stuff, right? So that was my big thing back then. I didn't give a crap to go after Katie. There was no, oh, I'm going to go after Katie because she, according to her lawsuit, rebuked my advances. I think that's the word she used, if I'm not mistaken. Rebuked my advances to her. And then I went on a 2-year-long harassment of her because my ego is so fragile because Katie Joy Paulson rebuked my advances. Wrap your head around that for a second here. What the hell kind of delusional bullshit is that? But that's what she's suing me for. I kid you not. William Peter says $5 super chat says, how's a liar filing fees these claims in good faith for her? I don't know. That is a good goddamn question, man. I do not know. Now, how the lawyer could just says, hey, look, yeah, put anything you want in this lawsuit. I have no idea. I thought they were absolutely accountable for baseless filings in their name. You would think that when he signs his name at the bottom of this and it has his name on it, he would be like, oh, okay, how are we going to go about proving this? Because when I sent my complaint to her, by the way, which, by the way, I did not write. My lawyer wrote. I had to send all this information to my lawyer. That's why it was so goddamn expensive, because he had to go through 135 pages of this stuff. And when she, sues me, I had to send a reply. That cost, I think, $2,500 damn dollars. I mean, hello. Doesn't he have to ask her? Okay, how are we going about trying to win this case? So, yeah. So, I mean, can somebody, here's the date. September 22nd, 2019. Go verify this is still there. She says, Steve, I can share a few things with you via DM that may help your case. From this account here, which, by the way, is deleted. And I said, you may. Does this sound like somebody I was sexually harassing her? And by the way, that is this. This is our conversation. December 22nd, 2019. This is what I'm saying. There's a consistency here. I've been consistent since day one. Absolutely consistent. She has not been. She's changed her story so damn many times I've lost count. Right? And so she says, by the way, so on the video this morning that Aaron had, they had talked about a meeting that Kyle had with myself, Ruhif, Reds Rhetoric, and Bullinator. And she was told by Kyle, and I do believe this. I've seen the screenshot, so I do believe her on this. She was told by Kyle that the lawyer, his lawyer that he never had at the time, he didn't have a lawyer till much later on, but she was told by him that his lawyer was there and that I must keep my mouth shut or I don't get anything. That was Kyle's narrative, right? The problem was there was no lawyer there. That was never said. And it wasn't me that asked for the meeting. It was Kyle. But Kyle did tell Katie that his lawyer was there and that basically my lawyer, his lawyer told me basically to shut the F up, I think is what he told her. Shut the F up and if I want to see anything, to keep my mouth shut, basically. That's the kind of narrative that guy was telling Katie in screenshots. And this is in Katie's video, by the way. This is a video from Katie somewhere. I'm sure somebody has it. So that's what they're referring to. It's the Who's Telling the Truth video on my channel, which I forgot to put in the video description, but you can go find it. The Death of the NonSequitur Show and Who's Telling the Truth. And these are the two videos. Again, there's obviously consistency here. These are the two videos I asked her to put in her apology video right here. Whose Side's Not Telling the Truth and The Death of the NonSequitur Show. Again, she literally had said, though, I threatened her to make an apology video, right? So, like I said, I got a lot of stuff here. She also goes on to say, you're a coward, Steve. You got caught bullying my son. You got caught defrauding YouTube community with a fraudulent fundraiser and used my name to gain sympathy for a mother with 6 kids because Katie stole their Christmas. The channel didn't go down because of me. Email Leslie says was deleted, which was proven. You lied. You run. I haven't ran anywhere. And I will absolutely stand by the fact that I did a fundraiser, what was a super chat thing to help LEB because her children, I wanted her kids, 5 kids, to have Christmas presents. That was it. That was it. Absolutely it. So I think something is in there that from about that's in the lawsuit. Because she had mentioned something along the lines of she had said that I falsely accused her of doing fraudulent GoFundMes, which didn't actually happen. What it was I was questioning her Ronald McDonald's charity house or Ronald McDonald's house charities. It's our Ronald McDonald's house charities, isn't it? But I was questioning that because 2 things. One, they have to approve any charity drive. They have to prove it, which never happened. And true, that money that went to her initially went to her PayPal. Then she started a GoFundMe or something using their information. And nobody knows where the money went. There was no accountability for it. There's been no receipts. So yeah, I would question that, which I have every right to. I wasn't the only one doing that. She's suing me for questioning her. Suing me for questioning her. Oh yeah, I can talk about this real quick too. She did a GoFundMe for $10,000. This was brought up the other day on Tia's channel, and that GoFundMe that was brought up for $10,000 was because I had requested a hearing to fight her fraudulent TRO on me. Now, Erin has already read her allegations on the TRO. It's unequivocal. She lied on it. She said that we were in a room together and I sexually harassed her. And when the host left the room, I made unwanted advancements to her, whatever. We all know that's bullshit. That came out ages ago. She also said I was taking photographs of her and her son. I've never been to her estate. I've never been anywhere near this freaking woman. Okay? But she did try to do a GoFundMe for $10,000. And I know it's really hard to read it. I apologize. I'll blow it up a little bit bigger if I can here. But she says, hi, my name is Katie Joy. I'm not going to do it in her voice. I'm a YouTuber, public figure, and a victim of stalker and online defamation campaign. She is referring to me here. Okay? Me. And here's the funniest thing. How is she calling, like, Todd Chrisley all this, right? Or how many? She also calls, the UK psychopath a stalker, which, by the way, yeah, I would probably put her under stalker. But she's trying to lump me in with her. She said that I was somehow in league with her. I've never talked to that woman in my life on any platform. Nowhere. Nothing. Zip. Zero. But she had said that I was somehow talking to her and manipulating her. And it's like, I've never talked to her once. But she goes on to say, over the past year, my company has been relentlessly targeted, along with my family, for simply having a job online. This is not a job for Katie. I am sorry, but when you are slandering people and you're online gossiping about people, that's not a job. That's not a job. I'm sorry. Other people that do commentary, you can call it a job. But there's no way in God's green earth that I'm going to accept lying for a living as a job. I just can't do it. I can't do it. And people say, what about politicians? Well, good point. Okay, but she says, these attacks have resulted in cops being called on us, our neighbors contacted, threats of calls to CPS, my husband's employer contacted, and my public address being widely shared for malicious purposes. None of which I had a damn thing to do with. Nothing on this. The attacks resulted in my cops being called on. Okay, what they got with me? I never called anybody. I never asked anybody to call anybody. I tell people absolutely never call anybody. Please somebody for maliciousness. That's ridiculous. Her neighbors contacted. They were contacted when it came to the pride flag. I do remember that happened. I don't know who contacted them. I have no idea. I don't remember. Somebody could refresh my memory on that. But yeah, because she had lied and said that her neighbors had taken down her pride flag and destroyed it, even though we found out that it had been tattered for a very long time, and that narrative was completely bullshit. Threats of calls to CPS, again, that happened, yes. People did. I had nothing to do with it. Husband, employers contacted. That was some woman. I have no idea who it was. And my public address being widely shared for malicious purposes. Her public address was on her LLC. Again, what has this got to do with me to raise $10,000? She's asking for $10,000 here, she was. What's it got to do with me? I successfully obtained a 2-year restraining order. No, she did not. That's an outright lie. What she got was an ex parte temporary restraining order that would have been 2 years had it not been adjudicated, or if got found that she didn't need one, or if I asked for a hearing. Which I did, right? Which I did. So the facts remain is that's an outright lie. If she would have gotten a 2-year-long restraining order, why does she need $10,000? Right? If she already got it, what does she need it for? She says, anybody who knows law, please help me with this. I cannot talk today. I apologize, man. It's been a long day. Sorry, it's been a very, very long day. And all I really had today was coffee, and I had a little bit of noodles. And so I'm starving, and I'm decaffeinating right now. I'm only drinking tea, but it has been a really long day. Sorry, not sorry. But she says, I successfully obtained a 2-year restraining order, but I still need to go to court. Why then? If you've been successful to get the restraining order, what is it she would have to go to court for? We've also been told civil actions are needed to end the group attacking my family. There was no group attacking her family. Nothing ever happened with that. I understand that I'm a public figure, and right there. And by the way, she can never say that she wasn't a public figure to 7M or Todd Chrisley, because they all know. She has said on record she's a public figure, which means that she has to prove malice. In order for her to win a lawsuit against me, she has to prove malice because she is a public figure. I'm not. But my safety and my family's safety should not be put at risk over a group's relentless harassment and stalking. We have spent $10,000 of our own money on attorney's fees, but it won't stop. My attorneys say it will take months to win. We can win. It will take time. I want my reputation restored. You have no reputation. You have no reputation any longer. People are finding that out. And thank God that they are. God, that may or may not exist. I want my family to feel safe. I want to stop the lies, and I want the defaming content removed, which, by the way, never happened. I never removed a single solitary thing. She had said somewhere along the lines I was forced to remove stuff. I never did. Nobody forced me to do anything. Nobody even asked me to, as I recall. But yeah, way back when before the NDA came out that proved that she was lying on that, I think she had said that I had to remove certain videos. Nope. Never happened. I never removed a single video. Never removed a single tweet. Please consider helping only if you're moved to do so. Thanks. So she right here is asking for $10,000 because of harassment of me, a victim of a stalker, a stalker and online defamation campaign. She is referring to me because she got that false TRO on me. So now she's suing me, wanting me to pay for her relocation cost because of her family's safety. But at the same time, it was Todd Chrisley, supposedly, because of his harassment, she was swatted 4 times and she has to move. Make up your mind. Pick a lane here. Pick a lane. She also then goes on to say, fuck any of you for doubting my story because you believe my abuser's narrative. She is referring to me here. Fuck him. Him. Not her. Not the psychopath in the UK. Not Todd Chrisley. This was before Todd Chrisley. This is referring to me. I'm one of many women he's done this to. There was none. Not a single one. And you'll be the next if you don't comply. He's dangerous in my experience. Really? Okay, great. Prove this. Prove this. That's insanity. And this, she goes on to say, and by the way, this is recent. July 18th, 2021. This isn't that long ago. This was a year ago, right? This is well after September 22nd, 2019, right? She says, I am done for people saying I'm unhinged for sharing my truths because your truths are lies. Your truths are lies. For 2 years, a narcissistic psychopath, she doesn't know the meaning of either of those words. First of all, narcissistic, she meets every criteria for her. I do not, by any stretch of imagination. She is a malignant narcissist, and she is suing me somewhere in there. She talks about this, that apparently it's defamatory to say somebody's narcissistic. Well, hello, she's doing it right here. But no, it's not. No, it's not. You can say whatever the hell you want, as long as you're not, if I was a professional psychologist and I said it, might be some defamatory, but I'm a lay person. I'm not an expert on psychology. It's not defamatory. You know, it's your opinion. Okay, great. Your opinion. And she clearly doesn't know what psychopath means. You know, a psychopath is born a psychopath. Sociopaths are more because of environmental stuff. And I do believe Katie is a sociopath, not a psychopath. I have said before that, you know, she's a sociopath, if not a full-on psychopath. But, you know, after learning more about psychopathy and things of that nature, I've come to the conclusion that she is not a psychopath, but she is a full-on sociopath. And by the way, I've also found out that all sociopaths are narcissists. But not all narcissists are sociopaths. Interesting. She said, harassing and destroyed my peace. Until you have been stalked and abused by someone like him, don't tell me how to act. Fuck y'all, blame him instead. Fuck you, any of you that says I can't fucking say he sexually harassed me. Well, there you go. How many times does she say, oh, I never said he sexually harassed me. I said he made me feel uncomfortable. Both of which were lies. Nothing like that ever happened. My DMs with her prove that beyond any reasonable degree of beyond a reasonable doubt. Because she has to prove in court now. Because she has put this in the lawsuit against me, that she has to prove in court that I made unwanted continual unwanted advancements to her, right? Because her whole thing is she's suing me for is that the story is that I supposedly made all these unwanted come-ons to her, and that because she rebuked me, I went on a 2-year-long harassment of her. I mean, Jesus freaking Christ, people. I mean, this is seriously. She's talking about frivolous lawsuits. Yeah, okay. And then she says he's a fucking narcissist, prick, abuser, and he's done this to multiple creators, none of which have ever come. None of which. Not a single creator has says that I have went on a 2-year harassment campaign of them. Not one. And here we go. I only ever apologized to him because he threatened me. Really? Really? Because this says otherwise here. Hello? Where's the threat? Where's the threat in this? And again, I'm not going to go through these because it's on the other video of Aaron's. I want people to go watch Aaron's video because, again, I don't care about the views. I don't care about people having the information out there, right? Where is the threat? She says she'll make a video on it. She does. And I say, okay, will you put these links in here? There's no threat. There's nowhere in here in our DMs there's a threat. And then she says that I threatened her in email. I've never threatened an email. Never sent her an email. All right, so we'll get to that. So right there, she says, I only ever apologized to him because he threatened me. Great. Where's that threatened? This is what I want people to understand. The reason I started the litigation process with Katie is because I wanted justice. I wanted Katie to make her allegations, and I wanted her to prove them in a court of law because she has the burden of proof. If she cannot meet that burden of proof, that's very telling. She has no evidence for those accusations. That's very telling. That's what I wanted. Okay, so she's making these accusations left and right. She's made them a year ago, and she's made them in a lawsuit against me. And it's so funny because people have asked Katie, hey, Katie, where is evidence for this? They get blocked. I give you guys evidence. I'll show you anything you want. I don't care. Right? People ask me, hey, Steve, can you show me evidence of this from Katie? Sure. You go to Katie, and by the way, I don't do this because she's suing me for that too. Because she sued me for that on the TRO because I said, hey, if you're a mod or subscriber of Katie, go ask her about this stuff. Apparently, that's harassment. So whatever. Don't ask Katie about anything. But should you have, hypothetically, had to ask Katie, you probably have already been blocked. right? So, she says, my restraining order was granted because he literally harassed me over the claims and threatened me. No, the temporary restraining order was granted ex parte because she lied in her affidavit to the court. That's it. The judge never saw any other evidence. The judge never saw any videos. The judge never sees any evidence beyond the initial affidavit and the petition. That's it. That's it. Why would a judge waste the time to look at a bunch of evidence if there may or may not be a hearing? The only time evidence is going to be evaluated is if there's a hearing requested, which I did. Right? So the restraining order was not granted because there was no harassment. The restraining order simply was granted because there was an emergency ex parte order granted, which is basically it's pro forma anymore because they wanted to err on the side of caution. I get that. I really do. But that's why it's called a temporary restraining order in Minnesota, not a restraining order. They're vastly different things. If you look at the statute, a TRO and RO are not the same thing. An RO is a post-injunction that has been granted by the court after a hearing or after a judgment. A temporary restraining order that's ex parte is granted merely out of the safety precaution because, if there's a potential for harm, they make sure that the person is safe. I get that and I agree with it. I do. Now, some lawyers I've talked to, they don't think that they should, because again, it violates a person's rights without due process. I get that, but I think safety should come first. And if a woman, files, I have to look from a female point of view, right? If I was a woman or even a man, or it doesn't even matter. It shouldn't even be sexist, right? It should be if your domestic partner has abused you and you need emergency relief, it should be granted based upon what you say. Absolutely. But two things. One, if it goes to hearing and shown that you lied, there should be ramifications. In Minnesota, you can lie on an affidavit and you cannot be sued for that. There could be other ramifications, but you cannot be sued for that. I couldn't use her affidavit in my lawsuit against her. It's weird. I know. I don't get that. But it's still, I do think that safety comes first. So I have no problem with having the ex parte temporary restraining order granted. I do have a problem with her lying about it, saying that it was that she was granted a 2-year restraining order. That's not the case. Go look at the statute. And it was dismissed. So why did she have to go to court if she had to why did she have to go to court if it was already granted, right? So, yeah. And then he said, if you do not retract it, I'm going to destroy you. Really? Really? Where? Now, again, this is our DMs. This is where, again, go to Aaron's video. I bet you guys in the live chat, if you watched Aaron's video, please tell me. Put 1 if you have, 2 if you have not. But if you watched her video, did anywhere in there did I threaten her to make that video? Did she not say she was going to make the video? And I said, thank you. I'll take you off my radar. Right? Show me where she was ever threatened by me, because that's her allegations. Her allegations were that I threatened her to make an apology video. I don't remember exactly the line she says it to. She actually says, I'll make a video. And I said, okay, great. It was pretty early on, wasn't it? When she said, I'll make the video. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Like I said, go watch Aaron's video. I don't really care because you know what's in there. But anyways, the point is that she says right there that I threatened her to make a video, and I said if I don't retract her if she doesn't retract it, I'm going to destroy you. Okay. First of all, that's not defamation, but I mean, like, where did I say that? Look what he's done. Now his cult is attacking Charlotte and Waxy. Where the hell did I attack Charlotte or Waxy? Waxy lied and said she had evidence she didn't have. But who attacked Waxy? I never saw anything going on about that. And Charlotte, I just talked to Charlotte the other day on Twitter. Charlotte, I put my blog up, which I'll go over here in a second. And Charlotte said, hey, I might read this online. I said, hey, go for it or piss Katie off. But somehow my cult is attacking Charlotte? I don't know anything about Charlotte. I don't watch Charlotte. I have nothing against Charlotte. Do I think Charlotte probably does? What I have seen in clips about Charlotte just seems she does is do it for views. But okay, whatever. I don't care. I have nothing against Charlotte. Never dealt with Charlotte. I don't think I've ever had any conversations with Charlotte, and I've certainly never been in a hangout with Charlotte that I recall. Right? Everything we've ever had has been very minimal on Twitter. I got no issues with her. Why would there be my quote cult attacking Charlotte? Somebody answers this for me because I don't get it. I don't get it. By the way, I just started looking at the live chat. I apologize. And the StreamYard is pinned to the top. If you guys want to come in and explain this to me, I'm happy to freaking entertain why the hell my quote cult was attacking Charlotte. Because really? Here's the thing. Waxy has demonstrated she was dishonest. Waxy literally said she had evidence that I was sending death threats to psychopathic UK girl. Right? She said that. She said that. Well, actually, I was going to say, okay, let me rephrase that. Katie said that I was sending death threats. Waxy agreed with her. Right? And then at some point, Waxy said that she had evidence through all this that she was going to come out with or something along those lines. She never did. But Charlotte never said anything like that I recall. Again, I don't watch Charlotte. So I really don't know what she has said and what she hasn't said about me. And I really honestly don't care. But I mean, this is ludicrous that she's trying to convince people that somehow my quote cult is attacking Charlotte. Again, why? I don't know anything about Charlotte. They go after anyone that speaks the truth. Boy, if that's not projection, I don't know what is. Don't ever be fucking silenced by abusers. And I'm not. Now, I can't say that Katie Joy abused me. That word is hyperbolic as shit. She has said that I abused her son, even though I've never met her son in my life. I mean, that's just straight up delusional. What woman, what mother would say this person abused my child when they've never met that child? What parent does that? That's sick. That is sick. Straight up disgusting. If I ever said to anybody, hey, you abused my daughter, what are people going to think about that? What are people going to think? You know exactly what they're going to think, and that's what she was going for. That's exactly what she was trying to make it out to sound like. She knew the words she was using there. She knew she wouldn't be asked for to be explaining it or to clarify or to provide evidence for. Nope. It was straight out, Steve abused my son. Even though I've never met her child in my life, never spoken to her child or anything like that. Then she says that then they win. I will not bow to him, and if it takes going to jail, it takes them going to jail. For what? What crime has been committed? Nothing. This is over a year ago, by the way. And by the way, a lot of people were saying that the FBI would be knocking at the door. Still waiting for that. I'll do everything in my power to send his ass there. I'm expecting that. I planned on that. Yes, she's put all this now in a lawsuit against me that she thinks there's some criminalities. Now she has to prove it. Now she has to prove that I made unwanted unwanted and continual unwanted, and I want to phrase it exactly what she said. Unwanted and continual. I should have the document ready. I apologize. Repeated. I think she said unwanted and repeated come-ons to her. Come-ons. I don't know who uses that phrasing any longer, but I think that's the phrasing she used. And I do apologize. I haven't looked at that exact nomenclature in a while here, so please forgive me. But I think that's what it was. I do. But she has to prove that. But she has said that I went on a 2-year-long harassment of her because I basically was rebuked by her. I was turned down by her, is what she's saying. Ugh. And she says, "I'll do women support women, period." Yeah. Well, that's called abusing me too. This is what she was relying on. She was relying on the fact she was a woman. She could make these allegations about me as a man that I sexually harassed her, and that people would believe her, period. It don't work like that any longer because people find out there's women like Katie that abuse that. Now, should all women be believed? Yeah, initially. At least believed enough to investigate. That was Me Too. Me Too was it wasn't ever categorical believe a woman no matter what. Because, women can lie. Men can lie. If a man says he was abused by somebody, if a man says, he was abused by a clergy member or a family member, yeah, they can lie about it. But the point is to investigate. To at least give them the benefit of the doubt and go from there. That's Me Too. Everybody else can kiss my fucking ass, she says. So she is basically going after me full throttle. Has been for a year. She is basically, tried to silence me for a TRO. Now she's trying to silence me from a lawsuit that I want to see her evidence for. I want to see her evidence. Now, I know personally she has no evidence. I know this categorically. I will stake my channels on it. I'll stake everything I have on it. What I do think she was hoping was she had sent out these preservation orders to a bunch of people, many of which I have no idea who these people are in real life. I found out that she had sent things to people that I barely communicate with. Some people that I have never communicated with. She was going on a fishing expedition. She was hoping that by saying other women that have had this or there's been harassment, that she will get all this discovery from dozens of people. She must have sent out dozens of these preservation orders, including one to Emily D. Baker, who has never spoken to me. In fact, Emily had the most brilliant comment. She said, "Oh, you want me to preserve 100% of nothing? There, it's preserved." Doesn't get any more brilliant than that. That's straight up what it was. So yeah, I went over this the other night, so I'm not going to bring up the letter of preservation. It's in my other video that I did the other day if you want to go check it out. But basically it says, yeah, you have to preserve evidence. Well, the problem with the preservation letter is she didn't say for what. It has to be limited in scope. What is it you're looking for? I mean, when Todd says, hey, you need to provide evidence that you have a source that has worked for Chrisley Knows Best, that has told you these things, that has told you that that they believe you, and that Todd Chrisley had blackmailed his daughter with a sex tape that his son Chris had bought for $5,000. You have a source for this? Yeah, there needs to be some preservation there. Or even if it was a communicator to a third party, which was Lindsay Chrisley. Okay, that's limited in scope. You cannot get a general preserve everything of all your communications with this person and send everything you've ever written to this person. Who does that? No lawyer does that. That doesn't work that way. But that's what she was hoping. She was hoping that somewhere in the communications between other people, there would be something along these lines of me harassing or telling people to go do this and that. Here's the thing. None of that ever happened. I know it never happened. Everyone who ever got a preservation order did these videos making songs about her, how dumb it was, because they know it never happened. That's how seriously they took it, because they're like, what the hell is this? Because this is delusional. But she was so desperate to find evidence that she was hoping to get it from preservation letters and get it from other people. And I think people being scared into sending her stuff, whatever it was. I believe this. Again, this is my personal opinion. Unlike her, I do state my personal opinion. I think that that's what she was thinking, that she would get her evidence from that. That's what makes sense to me, at least. Okay? That's the only thing that makes sense to me, is that she would send out these preservation orders to random people that, again, don't know who they are in real life, some of them. And or like Red's rhetoric. What the hell does Red's rhetoric have to do with any of this? Why would he get a letter of preservation? But that's what she said. That's what she said, that I did this to other people and that she has evidence for this. Okay, great. Let's see it. Bring it. I am not scared of her. I have never been scared of her. What I have been scared of is for other people, because I know if she does this to me, she can, has, and will do it to other people. I was at least willing to stick my neck out, right? And I've spent $10,000 in legal fees of my own money. On lawsuits since I've been on YouTube. I'm willing to prove to people that I am telling the truth, even though they already know. They already know. But unfortunately, not enough people know that she will do this to anybody that comes along her way, dares speak out against her. Matter of fact, she says it here. Just, they go after anybody that speaks the truth. Well, if that's not projection, what is? So, which she was really scared of mostly was this blog right here. Okay, let me pull this out. This blog right here is my philosophy blog, although I use it for other things as well. I have a couple different domains. This blog right here has been my most popular article to date. It has surpassed everything I've ever written. It has 8,000 some odd reads, and that's pretty good for a blog. That got my information out more than anything on YouTube. Anything that I ever put on YouTube, this had a greater impact because this was heartfelt. And it was, I had to go in and make sure that I had the details right. I put a lot of forethought into it to make sure it was correct. And it's easily shareable, right? Easily transportable. This scared the hell out of her. If I'm not mistaken, I got the TRO a few days after this came out. A few months after, or I think it was, right? May, when she gave me the TRO, June, July, August, something along those ballpark? Something along those lines, if I'm not mistaken. But this scared her because I was not going to sit there and let some dishonest, I'm going to try to refrain from being disparaging, but, name calling, because, that's kind of what she wants. But I'm not going to let somebody falsely accuse me of those things. And so I put it all on paper to show that she was lying about these things. I want everybody to go read this blog. And again, she had said that in her legal paperwork to me in her lawsuit, it does say that I did this to profit. I did this to profit, even though I spent thousands of dollars in legal fees. I did this to profit. And one thing she cites is that I had said that the story is getting out about Katie Joy. I have a tweet or a Facebook. I think it was a Facebook post. That's what it was. A Facebook post that says the story is getting out about Katie Joy. People are finding out about her. Something along those lines. And I'm referring to this. Not a video on YouTube. Not a monetized video on YouTube. This. Yes, I do have monetization for my blog. It's minimal. It's a couple bucks a month. It's beer money or coffee money or whatever I decide to spend it on. But it's not that much. It's $5 or $6 a month, something like that. But for this particular month, I made about $22. When this came out, I made about $22. Yeah, big money, right? Big money. I'm going through hell with this woman, defending myself for $22. And I have that. I have all the metrics for that. Everything. I have a sheet that I've sent all my lawyers. That will be coming out. Right? I mean, again, I'm sitting on a treasure trove of stuff, but I'm putting it out piecemeal. But there are people that do have access to the links. I've seen all of it. Is there anybody out there now that has seen my links? I think there's maybe one. But yeah, I broke it down and I showed that I made about $20 some odd a month. I don't remember the exact number. It was like $21, $22. I mean, nickel and dime stuff. But anyways, that's what she was referring to in her lawsuit, saying that I profited from this because I had said the word is getting out. So this, Steve's doing this, to get the story out for views and clicks and money. Even though I'm talking about a blog. And I'm not going to go through the blog because, we've already read it many times. But, she made, just ridiculous allegations. Yes, he doesn't want to be paid because the income would look like income. You lose his disability. I don't collect disability. I've never had disability. Never. Ever collected disability. I have a 0 VA rating. 0. She lied. Now, she did later on said, I'm just, basing on what Kyle said. Really? Because Kyle never even said that about disability. Kyle was talking about medical. Where the hell did disability come from? Kyle was trying to say that it was a medical fraud, which, by the way, on his confession of judgment that I read, admitted he had no evidence for. But where did the disability come from? Pull that out of her ass. So he wants the money under the table. Well, that was clearly not the case because in my messages to her, I told her I was concerned about the taxation. Once again, going to what Aaron read here in today. Go read it. Go listen to it. I want people to go listen to Aaron's video. I tell her I'm worried about him filing this and that for taxation. But he would never tell me who his accountant was. There was never talk about being paid under the table. That's ridiculous. Which means he wants to not report income. That's a hell of an allegation. Steve is asking Kyle to aid and abet him in criminal activities. Again, hell of an accusation. Find out it was Kyle involved himself in criminal activities such as perjury, embezzlement, domestic violence. And then she says, Steve admits he didn't want the money because he was on Social Security and wanted Kyle to pay him cash. I've never collected Social Security. Ever. So I want to hide money. This is how Katie Joy operates. She throws these things out there knowing they're BS, doesn't care. And again, my goal from day one to make sure she doesn't do this to other people. Because I know people know she's full of shit now. I know this. And I know they know I'm telling you the truth. There's nothing I need to convince anybody of. I understand that now, and I'm very appreciative of it. But unfortunately, she's still doing this to other people. Go watch Tia's channel. Tia's been really good at pointing out what she's been doing to the Marvin McRae family, which has been mortifying, what she's been doing to that family. Mortifying. I don't know what the word to describe it. And then she goes on and says, Steve repeatedly said he didn't want the money. Why would I not want $30,000? I'm sorry. Did I miss something along the lines? And again, a lot of this is rehashed, fraud, which is fraud, legally hiding money from the government, whatever. Because she even says here, legally hiding money from the government so that he can maintain his disability. That's fraud. I have no disability. Hey, Kano, have I ever gotten a goddamn Social Security check or disability check? Have you ever anything? Hello? Wave. Kano. She has earpieces on listening to this. She's going to come up in a second here. Listen. She's literally got a time delay. I swear to God. She's got, has got like, she just looks at me. This look was like, take your earbud out. Take it out. Have you ever seen, me get any check or anything with disability or Social Security? There you go. I'm frugal as shit, but I mean, it was fun. Oh, that's funny. Oh my God, that was so funny. She's literally over there just listening on a time delay. I love her. I got. Or what? Oh, I haven't really. I've been trying to pay attention to the. I don't like it when Steve is upset, and I've been in the background of all this for a very long time. I've known Kino for 15 years, and we do talk about it, and it still shocks me the way others have treated him, meaning trolls and shitlords, and vice versa. I mean, I know the shit she goes through too. But here's the funniest thing is, and I've told everybody this: if you send me something, Kano has the ability to read it. I just have to warn you of this again because I do understand private communications, but she has access to all my stuff. Not that she ever would. I mean, right? I mean, not that she ever would, but I am that transparent with her. So if there was any kind of foul play or any kind of like dishonesty, she would fucking know. Okay. But what I wanted to point out was the bottom here. Here. She says, I was told they agreed on terms of payments. They've settled. It's over. She seems to use that a lot, that people have settled and it's over. Well, the problem was my case against Kyle was not settled at the time. It wasn't over. Not at all. Okay, so yeah, she uses these terms like they're water. But anyways, I really want to get into the bottom of this because I don't want to keep it too long. Oh, this is interesting. She says, mob mentality is toxic. I shared on one or more occasions that I was uncomfortable by things said to me by Steve, which she had no evidence for, that were sexual in nature. Like what? Where? Show me. Ask other women if they've had experiences like that. They did. No one came forward. No one said a goddamn thing or felt demeaned by him. Then call me a liar. I'm not alone. I did find out later that supposedly I sexually harassed Fiona Robertson. Are you fucking kidding me? And Laura? No. Both of them came from that troll group that I wanted nothing to do with, and so they were just telling Katie what she wanted to hear or some shit because none of that ever fucking happened. I already proved in my conversations with Fiona that she absolutely lied about that on air. She went to Nikki's stream and said, "Oh yeah, something about having a circumcision and being tight and all this other shit that never fucking happened. I have the last thing that woman ever said to me, and I did release those DMs. So yeah, again, I hate releasing DMs, but in certain cases I had to, and those were 4 or 5 years old, by the way. But it did prove that her allegations were false. So yes, if you make false allegations like that I've sexually harassed you, I will release DMs. And so, she was like, oh yeah, Steve was sexually harassing me, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I told him I didn't want anything to do with him and I stopped talking to him. No, I proved that wasn't the case. So, and by the way, funny that it happened to be Fiona from a troll group, right? The ones that I've been saying for years I want nothing to do with. Kind of telling Katie what she wanted to hear, right? So, and then, it's weird though. It came from this where I was talking about, I was talking about Mercedes Carrera, and I said she was amazing, brilliant, funny, personable, hot as fuck. A great time was had by all, and we look forward to having her back in October, her schedule permitting. I clearly was talking about Mercedes Carrera, and then Katie Joy says, "Yeah, wow, some boobs though." And I even tagged Mercedes XXX, which was Mercedes Carrera. Well, actually, it was Non-Sex Show. It was actually Kyle that put out the first tweet, and then tagged Mercedes. This had changed along the lines at some point as Katie was trying to convince people I was talking about her, even though people were like, no, that never happened. Steve was talking about Katie. Not Katie, Mercedes Carrera. But yeah, she tried to run this as a trial balloon too, right? And she even puts it out here too. That I was uncomfortable by things that Steve said were sexual in nature. Ask other women if they had experiences like that. Talking about Mercedes Carrera, who's a porn star, who enjoyed her time on the show. This is what she's tweeting here. Like, Jesus Christ, man. And then she says, this is on September 22nd. Again, this goes back to the last time we spoke when she said, can I talk to you? She says, nope, I'm not apologizing for saying you made a statement that made me uncomfortable because that's my truth. My truth. If you want to discuss privately, that's fine. I said, there is a huge difference, Katie, between Steve made me uncomfortable because I still don't know what the hell she ever thought made her uncomfortable because she lied about, the whole, Steve was talking about sexual prowess and his penis and bullshit like that. Never happened. And Steve sexually harassed me. Massive difference. You accused me of a crime. And again, maybe sexual harassment like that wasn't a crime, I guess. But I mean, still, to me, at the time, their harassment is what it was. It was criminal harassment, including sexual harassment. And so she says, Steve, my DM is open. I'm not discussing this. And if you keep tagging me on the topic, I'm going back to blocking. Fun fact, I went to go to respond to her on this, and she had already blocked me, where I couldn't respond to her. Right? So this was that day. In fact, this all happened before then. She had came to me and said, can I message you about this? Right? September 22nd. September 22nd. So, but this was Dave's thing that he said about her. That, it never happened. The whole sexual harassment. He was in every single solitary pre-show we ever had. He never got up to go to the bathroom, I even recall. I don't think he ever left the VMix once we were in it. Certainly not when Katie was there. And she called him a liar at one time. So, and I do want to play this though. So, God damn, that was loud. My apologies. Whew. Oh, I didn't even have it on. Good thing, 'cause that blew my eardrums out. Holy crap. Let me turn down the volume here. So listen to this, because I've already shown that she had said that she never said she sexually harassed me. Or I'm sure that she had I've already shown that she had said that I had sexually harassed her, but here she says otherwise.
Tagging me in this tweet where this guy is basically like mocking me for saying that he sexually harassed me, which I never said that like he directly sexually harassed me. I said he made inappropriate sexual comments around me. And it was when we were doing live streams. And I think sometimes when you guys like are in the creative world, there's like this, people don't sometimes look at what we're doing as a job. And so they don't have their guards up and they're not acting like professionals. But I try to be professional in everything that I do because Jesus. Like, I feel like I'm representing a brand, and
Okay. She said, I never accused Steve of sexual harassment. Well, you just saw that she did when I pointed out in her Instagram where she said, "Don't fuck you all for not believing me when I said he sexually harassed me." Her story's not consistent because it never happened. That's the problem. Everything I've had is consistency. That's why I'm making these videos. That's why I'm doing this, because it's consistent with what I said about Kyle. It's consistent with what Aaron put out and Nikki put out. It's all consistent. Hers is not, because she's fabricated this story. And and then she turns around and says, "Well, I never said it was that he sexually harassed me." Then all of a sudden, oh yeah, he sexually harassed me. So this was. I know this is really hard to read. You guys can't see it. Maybe if I blow it up real big. But right here, this was a resurrection video. June 15th, 2019. She says out of nowhere, when you're working, you should not have to worry about being sexually harassed. This video here was after this. She says, I never said that he explicitly, said sexually harassed me. Right here. Right here. It's still up. That video's still up. When you're working, you should not have to worry about being sexually harassed. April for 5 Canadian says she's definitely a professional liar. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That's what this video is. Katie Joy is a liar. Is a demonstrable, unequivocal, provable liar. And again, I know I'm vindicated. Because the only people that are promoting anything about Katie is just her little flying monkeys, right? But anybody of any consequence knows she's full of crap, and I understand that. I have nothing to prove any longer. People have told me, "Hey, Steve, you have nothing to prove. You've done it," and I agree. I have nothing to prove with Kyle either. I've already done that. But the problem is that there are a lot of new people coming around that don't know her history. And she is doing this to other people. She's falsely making allegations and accusations about them and doing the same thing she tried to do with me. Here's another one. This is January 25th, 2020. People wonder why he sexually harassed me. This is how these men talk all the time. Okay, first of all, I'm a sailor, man. I'm a Navy guy. How I talk is how I talk. And I make no bones about it. I'm not apologetic at all. I curse. I think I can have a potty mouth, whatever. I know the line between being a sailor and have a sailor's mouth and sexual harassment. I have given numerous seminars on, or I want to call them seminars. What's a better word? Training things to people. Classes of 20, 30 people at a time at work. When you have new hires. We had to hire 200 new people for a store. 200 new people for a store at one time. I was the training person. I had to train each and every one of those in classes. And some of the things you have to talk about is the inappropriate things in the workplace. I know what the hell it is. I do understand the difference. That doesn't, by the way, that's not saying just because you know about it, you won't do it. I get that. I absolutely get that. Doesn't by any means mean that somebody who understands sexual harassment is not capable or will not commit it. This just means that I'm telling you I do understand the difference. She sure the hell doesn't. But she absolutely lied in her lawsuit against me, saying that I sexually harassed her and had these unwelcomed continual come-ons. So, here's the thing. She has to prove this now. Prove it. Okay. That's my whole goal by all this being that, I hate the word, it's not legacious. Like, is that the word legacious? I mean, this is the whole goal from day one. I wanted justice. I wanted my name clear, and I wanted to be demonstrated beyond any doubt that she has no evidence for her claims. Well, we're going to find out. She's still suing me. So we're going to go from there. We're going to go in there, and we're going to find out what happens when she goes in front of that judge and says, Judge, Your Honor, Steve sexually harassed me. And he says, okay, well, how do you do that? Where's the evidence for that? I have to move. I have to move because Steve's released my confidential information. And by the way, I will put out the lawsuit eventually. I will. But I'm waiting for a big content creator to get a hold of me where I can just release all this at once, because this is gold. But so far, nobody ever has. Not one. CC Suarez did not interview me like she claimed. That was a lie. So, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I wanted to show the evidence of me sexually harassing her, that I have to pay her for her moving cost. Okay. Why? Because she also has said that because of Todd Chrisley's continual harassment of her, she's been swatted and has to move. I don't know if she says she has to move, but she definitely says she doesn't feel safe. So, yeah, I can't wait for that. The other things that she had said that I did was I fabricated screenshots in 2019. Okay, great. Prove that, because I got those screenshots from another content creator. People knew who I don't want to say the name right now, but most people remember who it was. And I absolutely believe they're legit. 100% I believe they're legit. So I don't have to prove they're legit or not. I do believe they're legit, but that's irrelevant. That's my belief. What she has to prove is that I fabricated them. Okay. How are you going to do that when I actually have the DMs from the person who sent them to me and my response? Because they had said, hey, Steve, I want to ask you about something. I have information, I have screenshot sent to me something about Katie. I don't know the details of respect for, the mother of the situation here. And you guys know the details. You don't need to know more about it. Because again, I'm trying to minimize, just out of respect for her. That's, the mother that's involved in all this. But I can definitely say that the person who sent me the screenshots said, I want your opinion on this, and I said, sure. She sent me the screenshots and I've lost my shit. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, are you kidding me? I was like, Katie said this? No way. Have these been verified? Blah, blah, blah. And you guys know the story after that. But the point is that she said that I fabricated them. Okay, well, that's going to be kind of hard to freaking prove in a court of law when the person who sent them to me will testify that she sent them to me. So the main things she's suing are, one, that I fabricated screenshots, show the evidence. That never happened. So again, people ask, why are you talking about this stuff? Because she has no evidence for it. Todd Chrisley talked about stuff too. Why? Because she has no evidence. It doesn't matter what you talk about when she has no evidence for this. If you make an allegation, you need to have evidence. She has no evidence of her allegation, so what the hell? What matter whether I talk about it or not? 2, she said that I released confidential screenshots. Well, again, she knows my lawyer said that I could, so there's no malice there. Even if there was against some statute, which according to my lawyer there isn't, but I mean, even worst case if there was, which again, not to my knowledge, there's no malice because I had asked my lawyer, and my lawyer said, yeah, you can release them. And then she's suing me for some reason she thinks that me questioning her fundraising is defamatory. No! You're allowed to question people's fundraiser. I don't give a shit. You can question any fundraiser I fucking have. They're all legit. But dare if anybody question hers when she does a fundraiser for Ronald McDonald's charity house, or Ronald McDonald's house charities, and it goes to her PayPal, and they didn't approve it. Yeah, you have a right to question that. And then she asked the judge she's going to ask the court for relocation costs, quote, relocation cost, because she doesn't feel safe. Because me releasing her confidential material makes her feel unsafe. That to her is a bigger threat than supposedly having to move, being swatted 4 times. By the way, which she all blamed on Todd Chrisley. She didn't blame those swats on me. Nowhere what she wrote in there did she blame anything about swatting. She talked about CPS calls that had nothing to do with. She talked about having police calls, but not swatting. Swatting is a very specific term. Calling the police on somebody and the police show up and they knock on your door and say, hey, can we have a little chat? That's not swatting. Get drunk, guns blazing. Yeah, then there's a problem. Do I believe one of the instances was an attempt at swatting? Yeah. One of them I do. And if she wants to call that one instance swatting, I'm not going to fight her on it because I think it was an attempt at swatting, but that was through the psychopath from the UK, which she had familiarity with. She communicated with that person. I never did. So do I think Katie's been swatted? Yeah, I might grant her one. The only reason I will grant her that one is because I've actually seen the report that was what was said. And if what was said was true, which by the way was very, very, very graphic, I do not want to go into details because unlike Katie, I don't get off on talking about CSA. I don't get off on any of that crap. And so I will not give you the graphic details of what was said in that report, but it did involve her son. And I do think that if it was an actual email that had came from, Todd, which was supposedly the person that was doing some stuff, then yes, I think that would have been constitutive of swatting. So yeah, I'm going to grant that one. Why? Because I do fair commentary. I do look at the facts, and I don't care how much I hate a person. If it is what it is, I'm going to say what it is. So I will grant her one of the attempts. I think, from what I read, was probably a swatting attempt, but she wasn't swatted because they didn't come to their house guns a blazing, right? So I don't think she was swatting, but I would call it a swatting attempt. Just like there was a similar attempt with Michael Saltz, because Michael Saltz had a forged letter or email saying that he was about to kill his wife and kids. That's a swatting attempt, but he wasn't swatted. Does that make sense? You know, I hope that makes sense, because again, I'm not trying to be evasive. I'm trying to have respect for those involved that have wanted things to be dropped, but unfortunately, Katie will not let things go because she's Katie, and she keeps making these accusations, and I have to keep pointing out that she lied about them, because I did not fabricate any screenshots, and I still and always have held that they're real. So, all right, so I think that's really much all I really want to go over. It has been almost 90 minutes. I think I've made my point that Katie lied about me forcing her to make or threatening her to make some kind of video, her apology video. That was a lie. We all know that's a lie now. I think I made my point and proven beyond all reasonable doubt that she was never sexually harassed, because those DMs will clearly indicate that if I had sexually harassed her, where is it? Why didn't she mention anything about it? Why did she come to me and say, "Hey, Steve, I have something that might assist you in your lawsuit"? If I somehow you don't go to somebody who's been abused you or sexually harassed you and said, "Oh, I might have something to help you." Who does that? Who does that? So I definitely have proven she lied about the sexual harassment. Oh yeah, she also lied about the VAWA thing. Yes, we've already established that was a lie. The judge never put anything under VAWA. My lawyer had absolutely said, no judge didn't do any such thing. So when she said that, the judge saw things that were so bad that he had to put him in the Violence Against Women's Act sua sponte, meaning without any kind of motion, that was a lie. And I've also proven beyond any doubt that she has to relocate because of anything that I did. I mean, if she's moving, whatever. But I mean, what the hell's that got to do with me? And what's the third thing? I forgot. Shoot, there's so many fucking things, man. Let's see the screenshots. Oh yeah, that she has to prove that for somehow me questioning her fundraiser, the Ronald McDonald's house charity, is somehow defamatory. Okay, good luck with that. I don't know what the hell she thinks that's gonna freaking fly, but yeah, that's it. That's her loss. That's pretty much her lawsuit. And then she's talking about vexatiousness and saying that frivolous lawsuits should be held criminally. If her lawsuit against me isn't vexatious and isn't frivolous, I don't know what is, because I want to see the evidence. That's the whole point of starting down this path, because I knew she was going to sue me, right? She said she was going to sue me last year, me and Sherelle. I knew she was going to try to sue me. That's why I instigated my lawsuit first, right? So, yeah, okay. Where's her evidence for this? Trying to read some. All right. So what do we got in the live chat here? Nobody wants to come in? I don't think so. It's late. I get it. Nobody wants to come in. But if you want to come in, the link to join is at the top. But I'm going to take 7 minutes of questions. If you have anything, ask me now. I am working late at night, and I apologize. So my late streams, and I'm going to be streaming on Friday, but not much in the daytime. But like I said, I've always said, ask me anything you want. I don't care. But ask Katie something, she'll block you in a heartbeat, right? So ask me, got keep it mocky. I'm perplexed why the CSA or police being called is somehow disastrous in the U.S. Aren't they supposed to be helping folks? Dude, I don't get any of that stuff. All I know is that it seems to me that the people that have filed these false reports, and most of them, if not almost all of them, came from Psycho UK person. They were false. They were completely false. And yet people were running with them left and right. And I don't know why. Here's the thing. Don't run with something you don't have reason to believe is true, or significant reason. You don't have evidence for, right? I never believed a damn thing Psycho woman from UK said. Never. She could say that the sky is freaking blue and I'm going to go outside and look. Why? Because she lied. And she has no credibility. And Katie used her. April for Tickadini says, next show you do on, quote, that which shall not be named. Can we go through and discuss all the rules of logic she breaks? Yeah, it would be kind of fun, right? I mean, Katie's a walking contradiction herself, right? You know, she just throws out so many different lies, and She doesn't care if she gets caught because she's a sociopath. The sociopaths don't care if they get caught. And that's between a sociopath and a psychopath. The psychopath, well, I mean, she cares, but minimally. See, here's the thing: she can adjust, right? A psychopath doesn't have the feelings to give a shit. You know? Okay, I'll give you an example. And I watched this doctor. I can't remember her name, but she gave a brilliant example. I'm going to give full credit to her on this of the differences. And one of the differences she's pointed out was when you're driving along and you have a cop car pull you over. No matter what you're doing, you know that little pit at the bottom of your stomach you feel, right? You're like, crap, what'd I do? Were they speeding? You feel guilty. You did something wrong, but you're also like, oh, God, this sucks. I hate this feeling. We've all felt that feeling when we're pulled over. Psychopaths don't get that feeling. Psychopaths don't care. They don't have emotions like that. They're psychopaths. They lack things like empathy. They lack things like compassion. They lack those kind of feelings because they don't care about consequences. Another perfect example was the movie No Country for Old Men. Right? Have you guys ever seen that movie No Country for Old Men? Because that portrayed a psychopath perfectly. I mean, that just the movie's really hard to wrap your head around, but the antagonist in the story, the guy that's going, I don't want to give spoilers, but basically he goes around, he kills people, right? He's a psychopath. He doesn't care about his consequences, right? It's Chigger, right? Is it Chigger? I think that's what it was. It was Chig. We're just gonna call him Chig because that's all I remember. But Chig, he had a weird sense of kind of a moral code, but he needed to develop this moral code because he didn't know any other way to deal with reality. He didn't know any other way because he had no emotions. He's a true psychopath. So, in his morality was you flip a coin to determine the fate of somebody. Heads or whatever you call, you get to survive. You can get it. If not, he kills you. That was his moral code because he's a psychopath. Katie's not a psychopath. Katie is a full-on sociopath. She understands these things. She understands empathy. She has minimal amount of it, but she is very short-term. She doesn't care about the ramifications because she always gets out of it. But she understands the difference between right and wrong. She doesn't care. Again, this is all my opinion. Absolutely, just 100% my opinion. I'm not a medical professional. I have no ability to make these diagnoses, and this is not defamatory. Right? She has said numerous times, I've defamed her by calling a narcissist. Well, she called me a narcissist. So what? The problem is I don't tick any boxes. She ticks them all. And she does it to anybody who disagrees with her. She calls so many people these names. They're like nothing to her. Oh, this person's pointing out that I lied. He must be a narcissist. He must be an abuser. He must be a felon. Or, like Charlotte. Even though whether Charlotte's, about a felony or not, she makes it personal that, oh, Charlotte's saying all these things about me, but she's a felon. And I will admit this. Like I said, I don't know Charlotte very well, but I'm going to give Charlotte straight up props for taking that and running with it and changing her name to Felon on the Web. That was brilliant. That was smart. And there was other people that had gone on Twitter and that were confessing their crimes and their sins. Hashtag I'm a criminal too. And I was like, this is good. So I put, my crime, which was when I was about 4, give or take. It had to be before I was 6 because I moved to Buena Park when I was 6, and this was in Northridge. So I'm guessing between 3, 4, 5 years of age. My mom gave my sister a quarter and me a dime, and I remember I couldn't afford to buy whatever candy or gum it was at the time. And I just took it and I walked out the door with it. And my mom made me go back and talk to the manager. And it scared the shit out of me. I just remember being in tears. Big crybaby, right? That was good parenting, by the way. Good parenting. And it scared the shit out of me. It taught me a very valuable lesson about stealing. You don't steal. There's ramifications for those actions. She never had those life lessons. I don't think. Ever. There's no possible way she has a life lesson. So I put that in a tweet about, my story about stealing, when I was like 3 or 4, hashtag I'm a criminal too. Because everybody's got a past. Nobody's perfect. Everybody does things wrong on the planet. Matter of fact, we all have done things in our lives we're not proud of. Especially growing up in our teen years, right? Because we're learning. But you know what I never did? I never went out and just, oh, I want to kill somebody because I want to be like to kill somebody. That's a psychopath. You know, people that kill and torture animals, those are psychopaths. Why? Because they have no ability to feel for that animal. You know, and for example, to go back, you know, full circle with Dustin and Nick, two kitties were killed, and I'm sure they cared a lot about. I've had a lot of animals. I know what it's like. People empathize with that because they understand, because they know what it's like to care for an animal. Psychopaths won't, and sociopaths would be diminished to a certain degree. But that's how you recognize people for who they are. If you mistreat an animal or do not have any compassion for these people that have lost their kitties, you know, with the house, you know, I can understand. Yes, you lost a house, and that is really shit, obviously. But you know, they really. I saw the kitties. They posted it on Twitter, and it's just yeah, there's compassion to be had there. But people that have diminished capacities, like sociopaths or psychopaths, they can't feel that way. And that's the difference. Anyways, this is taking a lot out of me. It is late. It is 90 minutes in, and I'm done. Nobody had any questions, which is good, actually, because that means that people do understand this. And I just wanted this out there, that if anybody ever asks from here on out, hey, you know, what's the evidence, Steve? You know, what's the evidence that, you know, Steve sexually harassed Katie? Well, it should be two things. One, there is none on her side, and Steve has exculpatory evidence. Steve has proven beyond all doubt that never happened. But Katie now has to prove this in a court of law, and I want to see that. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you, the mods. April for the super chats. Thank you as always. She's been very kind in her super chats, and it is appreciated. It really is, April, very much. I don't make anything off these streams at late at night because they don't get a lot of views. But they're not there to make the money. They're obviously there to make the information get out there. But all that money, you know, I do make. You know, it goes to legal fees or food, pretty much, or rent. It goes to Cano. You know, Cano's my landlord, believe it or not. we are family. Cano is my family. She is my family. Just like Red's rhetoric. You know. I've already said that, you know, I will give a kidney to Reds and I'll give a kidney to Cano. And that's not a joke. You need a kidney, you got one. You know that, right? Okay. So I mean that very sincerely. These are people in my family. It's not just friendship. It is, I love them very much. Cano has been there for me for God knows. I mean, like I said, I used to talk to her all the time 15 years ago before I even started a YouTube channel. She was always kind to me. She was always, you know, a smiley face when I went to go get a Big Mac at McDonald's. And she would ride the bus, and I'd see her on the bus. And, you know, same thing with Reds. He's always been there for me. That means something, because that's just not people on the internet. And it goes back again full circle to Nick and Dustin. These are real people with real lives. I'm a real person with a real life and real experiences with people. And when Katie Joy goes out of her way to falsely accuse me of things like fraud, and medical fraud and Social Security fraud, which I, again, never collected, and disability fraud, but worse, to try to Me Too me, to claim that I somehow sexually harassed her, she can kiss my ass, because that never happened. And anybody who says otherwise, the first question should be asked by somebody is, sure, where's the evidence then? If that's not the question you've asked, then you're not don't come to me about anything. If you have said, hey, Steve sexually harassed Katie, or the judge filed things under VAWA, and you didn't ask for evidence of this, yeah, don't. I'm not. That doesn't apply under the whole honest interlocutor gets honest answers, because you're not being honest at that. No. So, Batika says, I need a liver, Steve, and a testicle. I got one of one and two of the other, but you're not family. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching again. Leave a comment. If you have anything you want to know, DM me. But I think this is a pretty well one and done for right now, until I can really talk about things more. Hopefully, maybe next month. But I think I got out what I wanted to get out. Go watch Aaron's video. Go watch her do a brilliant job with Nikki. Have a little fun with her DMs. And if you got any questions, you can also ask Erin. She pretty much knows most of the stuff. I just want to correct, like I said, a few things. To reiterate, Katie and I were never pals. Never pals. We just, you know, we had a congenial relationship for a little bit, but I was mostly just, you know, whatever. Not a lot of communications between us in that whole time period. And that too, she did lie about the accusation. She accused me of sending her an email threatening her to make an apology video. Well, we know now that's false, and we also know now that all these iterations about sexual harassment before and after and during streaming, she lied about, and she also lied about saying that she never claimed that I sexually harassed her, because not only did she reclaim it again later on, she is now suing me saying that I made unwanted continual advance come-ons to her. So yeah, she's full of crap. And with that, guys, I'm going to bed. Good night.